Can you tell us the behind the scenes of being a wine influencer? What are these, obviously without numbers, but just the structure of these partnerships? Whom are you partnering with? What are the agreements? Like, what type of content? Do they publish it, or do you publish it on your pages, or what is the setup? Because this is a fascinating word, and I think there are so many different ways to do it.
100%, yeah.
So I'm curious, how do you do it?
So in the past, it also changed. So in the beginning, I worked a lot with a bigger wine online shop where I said, okay, I'm looking at your wine selection and I'm selecting a topic and some wines, and then I have a wine package, which is then like my wine package, and I make videos about it, and we sell these packages, and there is a basic fee for producing these videos, and there's like an affiliate
commission.
Yeah, like an affiliate percentage which I get, or a cut on every sold wine package. This was nice because also had a value for my community, because I made tasting videos for it.
Yeah.
I always preach that if you want to learn about wine, you have to learn a bit of the theory, but you also have to taste. But really dedicated tasting, where you think about what you taste, where you compare wines, and this way you educate your palate and just your knowledge about wine.
Yeah.
So I created wine packages in this style. So compare like German white wines and everything.
I see.
Yes, and in the past, or in this year especially, I made a lot of trips. I visited a lot of wine regions or wineries. That's just developed that way because this year a lot of wine regions came up to me, or wine organizations, who said, okay, you have a community in the German-speaking market. We would like to promote our region a little bit more. We would invite you, and we are planning a program for you. So you're visiting some winemakers and some nice restaurants and hotels, and you're just documenting your journey there, and that's the cooperation. So that's actually, it takes a lot of time and energy.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of trip that than you would do in private, of course, but in the end it's like the dream for a wine enthusiast to be able to getting paid to go there, to speak to the most interesting winemakers, and just have a lot of these extremely nice and also sometimes rare experiences.
Of course. Wow, that's really interesting. I have so many questions. So going back to the beginning, when you explained these packages, I think that was a really great idea. And as you said, providing value for the community, selecting wines, this is always an important thing, and people are interested about finding those good value wines as well. So you said that this was like this two-sided contract, having one specific fee for producing the video and the commission part. I think that's pretty smart, because even without counting the sales, it's pretty much also up to them to have a professional website and have the wine selection for the sales, but you already worked on the video. For the video general fee, how do you determine the price there? Your average views or the follower count, or what is the measuring? How do you decide? Or you just come up with a number, or where do you research this?
It was difficult for me in the beginning because you don't really have a feeling what your community or your reach is worth. Then I Googled, okay, there are these KPIs, and then there is a lower end, and there is a higher end, and I look more on the higher end because I'm dedicated to a specific niche target group,
of course,
which is a different thing than if you just do entertaining videos without a real target audience.
Exactly.
Without a specific target audience. I think that was in the beginning the way I came up with the price, and then I created some numbers where I saw, okay, with one video you can create, with a good video you can create that much on revenue. So then you maybe had an even better base where you can create your prices on.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I do agree that having this specific niche community, the wine industry, is obviously also already valuable because it's so targeted. But even the community who are the wine consumers, I think it also increases the value of it, because from the beginning, wine consumers are adults. For other entertainment, as you said, content on the internet, most of the viewers are children, so that decreases the value. But in the wine industry, we only have adults. I mean, hopefully, most of the followers are adults.
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty smart. You have on your Instagram profile that it's 18 plus content.
Yeah, I think that's also important because there are going to, I mean, the platforms, I think they aren't big fans of content in general about alcohol and drugs, of course. And with wine right now, it's okay, it's fine. Nobody says something against it, but I think there could come some restrictions or something like that. And it's just in general important that
Better to be careful.
yeah, you don't you don't motivate people to just drink, but to
Yeah,
learn about the quality and to have a nice conscious glass of wine instead of having 20 beers or something.
of course.
And yeah, that way I think it works pretty good.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty safe because I would imagine for kids it's not so motivating. They don't really get into the mood of drinking from like an educational video talking about Riesling, for example, or comparing different wineries. It's not like a party thing to do. So I think it's quite safe. Yeah, what I was saying that these are adults, and also another factor that makes this community quite valuable is that wine is a luxury product, so it's not a necessity. So people who are interested in wine, especially learning about it and finding the more interesting wines, I think this is more higher end customer base. So for brands to target this target audience, I think you have the good decision to go to the higher prices.
I actually think it oftentimes thought about it of working with other partners than wine-related partners because, as you say, of course, wine-related companies have the highest interest in working with you and your community, but it's a quite valuable community also for other lifestyle products.
Yeah,
and this is something I'm still thinking about if I want long term, if I want to work with wine related products, because then the downside is always your community has they trust you and they count on what you say, and then you always have to be very careful for which products you advertise and you get paid, because this could damage your trust in your wine knowledge or in your trustworthiness.
I see.
And if you work with other brands or with other non-wine related products, you can just do your wine content like you want to do it, and you get your money from somewhere else, which is also interesting, of course. But yeah, for me right now, it works quite good because I don't get these kind of contracts where the partner says, the company says, okay, you have to say this and this and this and leave out that and everything.
Yeah.
Actually, for my partnerships, we don't even have a contract, which is not very professional, but it just works. And we say, okay, so I call with them. Most of the time, I'm the first influencer they work with, so I explain how it works. We talk about what kind of topics they would like to highlight, and then we're making a nice story. In the end of every cooperation, there is a nice video or in general, nice content for my community, which has a value in itself, and that is a good thing, I think. Yeah,
I think if you can balance these things to provide value both to the viewers and to the brand, that's the best thing. And if it doesn't influence too much what you say in the video, you can express your true opinion, then that's great. But I also think that it's a great idea and worth thinking about working with brands outside the wine industry as well, but not too unrelated, because I think that would be a bit weird, for example, to, I don't know, advertise a shampoo.
Yeah.
Or maybe for you have very nice hair, so maybe actually this is not a good example. But
nah, I don't know. Thank you, but I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, some products that are kind of related. I mean, maybe some other luxury products or something that would work if it's integrated into the content in a way. If it's not just an ad, but in some way you talk about some wine or some educational videos, and just a side note integrating another product, that could also work.
What I already did in the past was working with restaurants and hotels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Normally they have wine focus if they come up to me, but
Yeah.
that's the two kinds of businesses I made corporations with.
I see. And you also mentioned these organizations, the wine regions. I'm really curious about that. How does that work? So these are like these governmental organizations, or what type of organizations are these? Like NGOs who support the wine region, or what are these exact groups that you collaborate with?
It's really different in every region. So some regions have like a general organization which organizes the marketing for the region, and every winemaker pays a fee to that organization, so they do it.
I see.
In other cases, these are private companies, so they actually more work like an agency, but only in this region. This also happened. Now, quite recently, I was in Austria, and there it was the organization for, in general, Austrian tourism, and where everything counts in. So, culinary and wine and hotels and everything. Yeah, so it depends.
That's interesting. And are they reaching out to you, or are you also on the lookout for these organizations that you would like to work with?
Until this day, I've been lucky enough that I always had a nice selection, or actually also I could choose from a nice selection of partners who wanted to work with me, or just in general have interest. Yeah, that's how it worked until today. I did, I think, one or two cooperations with partners where I reached out.
Okay.
But in my experience, it's way harder to do it this way, because if you reach out to a person, you don't know if there's in general interest, if there's budget at the moment, if the timing is right and everything.
Yeah.
And you are in the situation or in the position where you have to sell your product. And of course, it's just way easier if people come up to you, and you just explain what you do and what the price range is, and then you both work out a cooperation.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense, and it's probably a lot easier to just have the offer and they can decide. Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section, and see you in the next one.